It's the practice for the third round of this Cyprus Drift Championship. Saturday today and tomorrow. Welcome everybody, we're here at the Cyprus Drift Championship. We're down at Athena Speedway. It's practice day. And I'm going to show you a live stream of the practice basically. We're just waiting for... Whoa, where are you going? We're just waiting for Wax there to finish. So we're here down. We have a new layout for the third round of the Cyprus Drift Championship. They come down the initiation zone. They initiate just behind the palm trees with an outside zone. This front is not a clip, it's a no-touch cone. They come around the corner. They have another outside zone over there. Then they run the outside line. Where the blue line starts and where the blue line finishes is one big clip. The judges want the cars to be on the outside line, just in front of the white border of the track. As we watch now, Sorin coming round. Way more outside. Then the zone finishes there. They come around and they transition. Let's just wait for him to finish his run so that you guys can hear me. So they come around, that zone finishes where the blue line is. They come around and the judges want the left wheel to be in this box, the left front wheel. So it's an inner zone, which is for them to guide to the next zone. You mess this up, you're not going to get the big zone. The next big zone starts where the blue line is. It's all the way around the turn until that blue line. Again, the judges want them to be on the outside of the track all the way until the white line, but not over it. Then they come across. They have an inner zone right there where they flick the car in front. The judges want a fast, snappy flick and then back into the main zone on the outside of the track until the point right there behind Mike, which is the finish line. Let's watch some drifting and let's see what the drivers are gonna manage today. This run was by Kostas Christoforou with his S13 2JZ running around 800 horsepower. Next we have Panais with a Sapporo. Gets zone 2. He's on the outside of the track really well. It's a bit hard to film this layout because we've got the tower in the way. And across the line. Panais in a Gallant this year. He was racing last year with the Mitsubishi Sapporo and he's changed chassis and he's doing pretty well with this car. Next run we have Igor with his E36 coming in hot, claims the second clipping pot, wide around the third zone, coming in for the transition. A little bit too early for him there. Outside line and across the finish line. Igor, he did a far too early transition on the inner zone here, which brought him up a little bit shallow for the outer zone. Hope you can hear me when they're passing by. It's so loud. I do have my lav mic on today, but some of these BMWs are really loud. We have the first win of the day. We have Solas and Doros Francescu. They come round. Solas is deep in the zone while Doro is trying to push him on the door. Transitioning into the big zone. They come round. Solas is... Yeah, I can't hear myself speak, so I don't know if you guys can hear me. When they're in this area of the track, it's so loud here that I stop talking sometimes. Now we've got Sorin, BMW E46, last race, his engine exploded. He needs to be a little bit wider. Again, a too early flip. Doesn't fill the outer zone completely. Again, on the last zone, he could be deeper from the beginning of the zone. The judges want the cars to be flicked in from the beginning of the clip on the outer side all the way until the finish line. This goes for this clip as well. They want them to make a perfect transition here and flick it in just where the cone is so that they ride out the whole outer zone clip. Thank you, bro. Thank you for letting me know that you can hear me even when it's loud. All right, who do we have next? We have CH Loizu coming in around the no-hit zone, going for the second zone. He could have been a little bit deeper, and it's thrown his line off a little bit for the third big zone. Again, he could have flicked that in a little bit later to fill in the zone completely from the beginning. And now he's on the outside zone. He could be about 50 centimeters to 80 centimeters deeper in the last clip. So when I'm talking in the live, first zone is the outer zone. This is a no-hit zone, so it's not a clip for me. Second clip is there, third clip is there, fourth is there, fifth is there, sixth is the inner zone, and then seventh is the big zone before the end. Igor. A much better flip than before, right on the edge of the track. He fills out the zone completely, into zone 6, out of zone 7, as he rides it out. A nice run from Igor there. He's been practicing all morning, and he's been pushing and changing it up to find the perfect place to put the car in for the clipping point 5. Alekos Hasikos comes in, flicks to clipping 2, gets it, clipping point 3, he's in the zone. A little bit, almost perfect there by Alekos Hasikos, filling out to zone 4, coming to inner zone 6 and 7. Needs to be a bit deeper in zone 7. I need to get used to the track a little bit. The clipping zones were put in this morning. I've been at the track since Wednesday, and we didn't have the zones. We had the layout, but we didn't have the zones. Zones were in the briefing today. If you want to watch a briefing after the live finishes, you can head over to my Instagram account at the JSpot blog, and I have put the whole briefing up there. It's in English and in Greek. E30 rocking an SR20 2.2. He claims zone 2. He claims all of zone 3. Coming around for zone 4. Flicking it far too early there. We want the front of the car in this zone, not the rear of the car. Filling out of zone, and he comes off out of zone 3 a little bit early and has scrubbed out his speed completely. As you saw there, Doro transitioned far too early around this area, and his back of his car was already in this zone sideways, which is completely wrong. It needs to be the front left wheel in this zone. And if you get this wrong, you're going to get that wrong for sure. Normally the clipping zone on this layout has been here in the past. We've pushed it further down to change it up and make it a bit harder for the drivers. Sorin, E46 gets zone 2. Needs to push it out a bit further for zone 3. coming around for zone inner 4, completely missing it, but getting a nice line for outer zone. Oh no. Something seemed a little off with his car then. He missed this box by about 5 centimeters, but he still put on a nice flick. But he shallowed out, and maybe he put in the wrong gear or something, because he was bouncing off the rev limiter like crazy. CH Race is taking out the cone. Cones is started back out. Zone 3, zone 4 is filled all the way. Again, he transitioned too early, and now he needs to push the car on the outer zone. Now the judges have gone. I can stand in here and we can actually see this zone better, and I can talk to you. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to close this door right here. Wait a second, guys. And I'm going to turn on the air conditioning, because it is boiling today. It's going to take a bit of a while to cool down in here, but... Alright, we've got Mario's there on the start with the checkered flag, just putting back what's left of the no-hit zone. The rest of the cone is in that zone right there. So tomorrow is the big race. It's the third round of the Cyprus Drift Championship. Tomorrow, Sunday, at Athena Speedway. Gates open 10 o'clock for spectators. Practice begins. Then they'll have a break. Then we'll go straight into qualifying for semi-pro and then pro. Then there'll be a lunch break, and then we have the drift battle starting with semi-pro. We have Alexandros coming in a little bit too wide, throwing his line off completely. It's his first run of the week. Most of the other drivers have practiced, so he just needs to figure out the layout a little bit. There we go. I won't be so judgmental on the drivers that haven't actually driven the layout yet until they get comfortable with the track. Next car coming down the initiation is Igor, coming round the no-hit zone, going into zone 2, riding out zone 3. There we go, right on the outside. That's what the judges want to see. Inner clip, puts 2 wheels out, needs to figure it out a little bit more with this inner clip, but he's riding the outside line now, transitioning for the inner zone there, and pushing him for outer zone 7, might have 1 wheel out there. Igor's taking this practice the way it should be done. He's pushing himself, and this area here, he hasn't exactly figured it out yet, but he's trying out different techniques until he figures it out for qualifying tomorrow. That's what I want to see. I want to see drivers figuring out the right line. Got Sorin flicking around for zone 2, filling in zone 3. Not bad at all. Missing zone 4, but he's on the outside line as he cuts around zone 5, inner zone 6, and around the outside line of the zone 7. I need to call them clipping points. I don't know why I've mixed it up and called them zones today. Forgive me, it is boiling hot. But the air conditioning is starting to kick in. I feel sorry for these people that are on the grandstands in the boiling hot sun. And there's a lot of space still. I mean, there's not that many people come to the practice, to be honest. We've got Alexandros coming in with his E36, transitioning across the track to zone 2. Out to zone 3, pushing the car. He could do another meter to the outer zone. There's was a nice transition there. He could have been a little bit deeper from the beginning of the zone, but it was a nice push. Transitioning for the inner zone here and pushing his car to the outer zone all the way around zone 7. He could have been a bit deeper at the end of zone 7, as they want you coming out of the clip exactly where the cone is. Alexandros is racing in semi-pro. He began driving at the beginning of this year, and he's doing quite well. Got third place in the last round of the championship. Igor coming into zone 2. Could have stayed in it for a little bit longer. Zone 3, pushing it to the outside of the track. Let's see what he does here. I feel like he might have transitioned a little bit early. That's putting a wheel out on the line there. But it's getting much better. And a nice push through zone 7 and across the line. Igor's put in a lot of practice. He was down here on Thursday and we did a full 8 hours of practicing, but without the zones. We've got Alexis Harris rocking in with his 2JZ 1000 horsepower S15. He fills zone 2, filling zone 3 nicely, right on the rev limiter, right on the outside of the track. A nice flick, whoa, right on the edges of the track. Best lap we've seen so far. Alexis Harris riding out all of the zone, inner zone now and across zone 7. Straightened just a little bit in zone 7, but it's the best run we've seen so far. That's exactly what the judges want. He straightened just a little bit. He came off angle in this point for him to power out onto the racing line. But that was a nice run by Alexis Harris. 2JZ S15 rocking 1000 horsepower, Ross Performance parts on the engine. We've got Christos Gouda coming in with his E30 left-hand drive, the only left-hand drive car in the championship. Christos Gouda just coming in, scrubbing his front wheels, checking where all the points are. Transitioned a little bit too early there, but he wasn't really doing a run. He didn't have the speed. We'll wait for Christos Gouda to come down and do a proper run. It's quite cloudy today, which is good because that means the sun's not beating down on us, but it is hot still. And it's still quite cool. The breeze is quite cool still. It hasn't gone into that boiling hot breeze that we have in the June, July months, which is good. Hope it doesn't rain, but I've heard that the weather tomorrow is going to be bright, clear blue skies and super hot. I've heard around 35 degrees, maybe 37. Alexis Harris just going around the track for a cool down. Wait a little bit until the next car comes down from the initiation. Not all of the drivers are at the track today. It's not compulsory day of practice. It's a track day. It's run by the track today. So we don't have all the drivers. Some drivers came yesterday and drifted. We had Kostas Sparsis, we had Polis Konstantinou, Eftichios, CH Loizou came down yesterday. I'm trying to think who else came down. We had Pambos Nicolaou come down yesterday, Pambos Halarambos, and maybe a few other drivers. Kyros Artemiou came down as well yesterday and practiced. So I don't think they'll all practice today. It costs a lot of money to drift practice. Now we have Igor coming in, claiming zone 2, deep into zone 3. flicking the car, putting 2 wheels out, but he's just figuring out the track. Just needs to reel it in a little bit and he'll have a really nice line. Inner zone and pushing the car on the outer zone 7. Igor's almost there. The flick was nice, but it put him out 2 wheels on this, oh, what am I showing? On this bit here. He just needs to reel it in to have a nice smooth enter into zone 5. There we've got Christos Gouda coming round for his first lap. Transitions a little bit too early, puts 2 wheels out before zone 2. But now he's on the right line, filling up zone 3. Lots of smoke from Christos Gouda. Left wheel through zone 4. Pushing on out to zone 5. Looks like a nice run from Christos Gouda. He could have filled zone 5 a little bit more. And across zone 7. Christos Gouda is the only driver racing with a left-hand drive car, which is pretty cool. We have Igor. What is happening? That would have been a close call, but Chelebi saw him. Chelebi is the president of the drift club, and he shut down the run and sent him back to the start line. Igor coming round zone 3. Not zone 3, zone 4, sorry. Yeah, that threw me off there a little bit. I saw Gouda going around the tower and Igor entering the track. I'm like, oh, that was a close one. Good thing below the tower where I'm situated, we've got the president and the organizers of the drift club. We have Kojas and Nicolas Ioannidis, and they're just keeping an eye on the drivers and and the safety of the track. We've got some people leaving the track, probably going to go get some parts or some extra tires or something like that. Maybe they've even finished practice for the day. Okay, we've got another run coming down. Who do we have? We have Alexandros, E36, semi-pro, flicks the car into zone 2, could have filled it out a little bit deeper. Zone 3, he could have entered it at the deep zone. Transitioning a little bit too early, could have been deeper at the beginning of zone 5. Flicks through zone 6 and goes round zone 7, but I feel that he could have been at least 80 centimeters deeper into the zone. Thanks for the 11 people that are on the live. I hope you enjoyed. Somebody's coming down, flooring it. Who is it? Alexis Harris, of course. Coming in hot. Flips it into zone 2. Claims that completely. He's on the outer zone for zone 3. All the way around. What a nice run by Alexis Harris. Left tire in zone 4. In zone 5 from the beginning of the zone. Pushing the car all the way around the outer zone. Flicks it into zone 7 and across the line. This is by far the best run of the day by Alexis Harris. It was exactly what the judges wanted to see. All the zones were filled out from the beginning of the zone to the end of the zone, fully the car on the outside zone. Here he managed to get the left wheel in the inner clipping and flicked it perfectly and got in right at the beginning of the zone and came out right at the end of the zone on the outside. That was a very nice run. I love Alexis Harris's car. It sounds amazing. It reminds me of all the Drift Masters noises that I used to hear back in the day. Igor, E36, coming in. Zone 2, getting all of it. Zone 3, entering and exiting on the outside line. A little bit too early again, putting out one wheel before out of zone 5. Fills out of zone 5 quite nicely though, with the inner zone and out of zone 7, filled all the way to the end. Igor, I hope you watch this live stream afterwards and just, you need to figure out, I think maybe you're coming a bit too close to the cone. If you're a little bit out towards the edge of the box with your left tire, giving you enough space for the transition for you not to put out 1 or 2 wheels on this line, but still getting the clipping point which is at the cone. I'm just saying this, I'm not driving. I drove on Thursday the Lexus, but the Lexus does not have enough power for me to get all the way down there. So I'm just speaking of what I've seen so far from all of the practice. And I mainly do the live for the drivers to be able to go home tonight and watch the practice live stream and see what they're actually doing from higher up. And also for their teams that are in the pits, I want them to be able to see what their drivers are doing. And also the spectators that can't come down to the track today, they can come and watch the live stream from the practice and see a little bit the new layout and the new zones. Come round again, he's still putting out 1 tire before out of zone 5. Now we've got some people standing in the way. Pushing to out of zone 7 all of the way round. If they stand there, it will be perfect because it's right in front of the thing. This guy with the quack off, it's Nicolas Paddock. He used to race a couple of years ago in pro category. He's been to Japan. He's was one of the top drivers in the Cyprus Drift Championship. Next to him we have Kyriakos Marios Tsodas. He has a BMW E46 that he's modified this year for the Drift Championship. Absolutely beautiful, very nice weapon for drifting. Entering the track a little bit too wide, we have Neophilos Figaktou. He pushes his car into zone 2. Could be a little bit deeper in zone 3, at least a meter. Flicks it in nicely though for zone 5, pushing the car onto the outer line, all the way around. Could be a bit deeper in zone 7 and across the line. Neophilos Figaktou racing his S13, rocking an SR20. Mazworks engine. Next driver we have Simos Tikis. He comes round, flicks the car across into outer zone 2, goes deep into outer zone 3, pushing the car. Could have filled it a little bit more at the end of the zone. Transitions across the track into zone outer 5, filling it completely. That was a nice transition there. Another flick into outer zone 7 and across the line. He could have stayed in this zone a little bit longer, but it was a very nice line from Simos Tikis. Racing in the pro category with his E36 rocking a 2JZ. Probably around 1,000 horsepower. Next run we have Alexandros leading, following we have C. Pedro, both drivers in semi-pro. C. Pedro with the E46, nice line, hunted him by the doors. They transition. Alexandros could be a little bit deeper in the zone, but Pedro is really pushing and chasing for his doors. I understand the need to do a twin battle, but it's far too early in the day for the twin battles to begin. Alexandros still hasn't figured out the track completely yet, and adding so much pressure to yourself in a twin, in my opinion, it's not the right moment. I feel that Alexandros should figure out the track a little bit more, and once he knows that he's got it down, then start pushing with twin battles. Bambos Nicolau, V8, BMW coming round the track, filling the outer zone 3, transitioning across the track, beautiful transition into outer zone 5, fills outer zone 5 completely, comes through the inner zone, was a little bit over the line there, and now he fills outer zone 7 all the way to the end. It was a nice run by Bambos Nicolau there, but I do feel that he put one wheel out on the inner zone where the cone is. We've got Sodas explaining to Paddock how to film there. We've got Alekos Hasikos coming round, filling outer zone 2, pushing the car, getting into outer zone 3, filling that up nicely. Well done, Alekos Hasikos. Transitions across the track a little bit too early, not getting deep enough into outer zone 5, coming out of it a little bit early as well, and that will mess up your line for the rest of the layout. Alekos Hasikos, been racing in the Drift Championship for the last 12 to 14 years, and he's just changed his engine from BMW to 2JZ in the E30. Now we're going to the next. We've got Neophytos Figartou coming in a little bit wide, but he's gaining speed for zone 2 and zone 3. He's on a nice line, needs to push it a little bit more. Misses his left front wheel in zone 4, but fills out zone 5 nicely. Comes out of it a little bit too early though. Flicks it in for zone 7, pushes on the outside line and across the finish line. He did not get his left front wheel in this box. Now we've got Jaburas driving Wax's V6 S15. Gamno live stream. We have Kyriakos Marios Tsodas and Nicolas Paddock. Paddock is Kyriakos Marios Tsodas' spotter for the race. Comes up, films his passes, goes in the pits, shows the driver his runs. We have Toriz, El Toredo, E46 in semi-pro, filling zone 2. It's his first run of the day, pushing the car through outer zone 3. Transitioning a little bit too early. That's running a bit of a shallow line, entering zone 5 and exiting zone 5. He could have been a bit deeper. Pushes into zone 7. Little bit too much angle, scrubbed his speed there and straightened before the finish line. Tori's first run of the day, pretty good for the first run. We've got Pedro leading, chasing Alexandros. As they flick around, Pedro gets into the zone nicely, pushes his car to the outer zone while Alexandros is pushing to get close to him. Pedro transitions, could have been a bit deeper into zone 5 at the beginning, but it's still a nice run as he exits zone 5 a little bit too early. Gets into zone 7 nicely as Alexandros gets onto his doors and pushes him across the finish line. Savas SP just rocking up to practice with his E36 right there, rocking a BMW engine. Just need to wait for these guys to drive into the track so they can make it past this area so we can move on to more battles or single runs. I like hearing what the drivers have to say when they come up here to watch. All right, we have somebody on the start line. I can hear them revving their engine as they enter the parking lot. We have Bambos Nicolaou with his LS-powered BMW, flicks to zone 2, fills it out nicely, gets into zone 3 deep, pushes the car. Into outer zone 5, could have been a bit deeper on the enter of the zone 5. If you're wondering why I'm standing in here, I'm panning in front of all of this stuff. When you stand on the outside of the balcony only goes until here. It doesn't go all the way around. So when you film them come round, when you get to this point, you can't see this turn. So I've decided to come inside the judge area so that we have a more 360 complete view of the track. Alekos Hasikos E32 JZ, filling out of zone 3. Transitions across the track a little bit too early, goes in with a shallow line but pushes the car to the outside zone. Comes out with a shallow line of zone 5 and goes into zone 7 again on a little bit of a shallow line. I don't expect this from Alekos Hasikos. He's been driving in the championship for many years now. I expect this car with the power that it has to be on the outside zone for the entire run of the clip. We have everybody on standby at Bambos Nicolaou's car. Fire extinguishers have been brought out. Maybe there was some smoke or something, and just for safety measures they brought out the fire extinguishers to be ready. So that's nice to see. Now we're just going to wait a little bit until this is cleared up by the organization. They've checked the car. There's no threat of fire. So they're going to send Bambos Nicolaou up to the start line, back to the pits, and we will commence with more drifting for the practice of the Cyprus Drift Championship round 3. Thank you to the 15 spectators that are sitting on the grandstand that came out today. We understand that most people work on Saturdays, so we don't expect them to be a lot of people here, and it's still a practice only, so it's not even qualifying or something like that. That will all happen tomorrow, Sunday at Athna Speedway. Starts at 10 o'clock in the morning, and we will run for the entire day. We have Banais with the Gallant pushing into outer zone 3. Comes out a little bit early. Transitions across the track. Could have been a bit deeper into outer zone 5. Comes out early because of that mistake. Transitions into outer zone 7, but doesn't have enough speed to push him to the outside of the zone. Neophytos Figartu coming in. He's choosing a very wide line for initiation, pushing his track, transitioning across the racetrack into zone 2. A little bit of correction there as he gets close to the wall. He scrubbed a little speed there, so I imagine he'll come out early. Transitioning across the track. Nice transition though into outer zone 5. Puts 1 or 2 wheels out though. Scrubs out his speed. Puts his foot down and pushes his car across the finish line. You make a wrong mistake on a few of these zones, it will throw you off. If you don't get this zone, you won't be lined up perfect for this zone. When you transition across the track, if you mess up this inner clip, they want the front left wheel in the inner zone, it will mess you up for that one. We've got Jaburas with the V6 S15. Fiberglass clamshells front and rear, pushing the car into outer zone 3. Coming for inner clip 4. I feel like he transitioned a bit too early. They want the front of the car to go through that zone, not the rear of the car, but he did pick up zone 5 really well, pushing it on the outside. Cross inner zone 6. And he could have been a bit deeper on zone 7 from the beginning of the zone to the outer of the zone. He could have been at least a meter deeper. Do we get a little chat from Sodas? He'll tell us what he thinks so far. Tori is coming in far too much angle, scrubbing his speed and coming to a complete halt as he turns around and goes back up to the start line. We're waiting. Marios has waved the flag. There is a car coming down into the parking for another run. Who do we have? We have Banais with the Gallant pushing around. Fills zone 2, pushing the car into zone 3. He could be a little bit deeper on the exit of zone 3. Again, transitioning far too early for Banais with the Gallant. That's pushing him off the line and coming out of the zone a bit shallow. He pushes into zone 7 well though. Fills zone 7 until the line. We've got Toris coming in hot. Pushes through outer zone 2. Feels outer zone 3. A little bit too much angle there as he does a little bit of a correction, but it was a nice push. He transitions a little bit early and goes into a spin. Nicolas Paddock. My first twin I ever made in my life was with Nicolas Paddock. I was driving a Subaru and nobody would twin with me because I was a little bit dangerous when I first started out. I was just going all for it. But he Sorin coming a bit too hot, almost putting one wheel off and messed up his line for the next zone. I would have saved those tires and done a better run. I wouldn't have wasted my tires like that. I would have just gone back up to the start and done a proper run of the track. But I'm sure these guys have plenty of tires to drive for the whole day. Most teams are spending quite a lot of money today on tires and fuel. Most of the cars are running anywhere between 245 to 265 on the rear, and they're costing around 150 euros per tire. The tires last for a maximum of 3 runs. Most cars are doing 2 runs on one set of tires. So that's 300 euros per 2 runs, plus most of the cars are putting 109 octane race fuel, which costs around 130 euros for 20 liters of fuel. And I imagine 2 runs on 20 liters of fuel is maybe, might be more. They might get like, I don't know, a run for 20 euros, or maybe like 2-3 runs with 20 euros of fuel. I need to talk to the drivers and ask them that question. So for the average pro driver, they'll be spending at least 1,000 euros in tires today, and maybe another 400 euros in fuel. Christos Gouda riding outside zone 3, coming in for zone 4, flicks it in nice for zone 5 as he pushes it around, but he gains too much angle and comes out of zone 5 a little bit too early into zone 7 and across the line. Christos Gouda flicked it in really nicely, but he gained too much angle on the outer zone there and scrubbed out his speed, which pushed him off the outer zone racing line, and he came out of the clipping zone a little bit too early and not filling out the entire zone. I hope my commentating is quite helpful. It's my second or third live that I'm doing proper commentating. I want the drivers to see their mistakes and get better. And it takes me a bit of a while to warm up for the commentating as well. I don't just jump into it naturally. Polis Constantinou racing a new chassis this year with an LS V8. He was racing with an E30 for as long as I've known him. He put some good hours into that E30, but now it's nice to see him in a freshly built BMW. We've got Panais with the Gannon coming in super fast, transitioning for outside zone 2, completely fills it, gets into outer zone 3 all the way, transitions far too early. They want the front of the zone. I'm saying it again, they want the front left wheel in this zone, not the back of the car transitioning. It is not an outside zone. Transitions into outer zone 7, pushing the car to the outer line. A few drivers are transitioning 2-3 meters before this inner zone, which is far too early and it's going to take you off the complete line. They want the inner zone. Front left wheel there, it is a guide. We have El Toredo coming in hot, filling outer zone 3, could be a little bit deeper on the exit of outer zone 3, flicks it nicely for the inner zone, but flicked it in a bit too viciously and he spun out. We have Sorin coming round to the edge of the racetrack, flicks it into outer zone 2 but puts 2 wheels out. He transitioned, was nice, but he put a wheel out before the outer zone 5. Could have been a little bit deeper into outer zone 7 from the start, but filled it towards the end of the run. I didn't bring any water with me, and I am going to run out of voice soon. We have Andreas Wax practicing with his 2JZ S13, normally racing in an S14 2JZ. He fills out outer zone 3 all the way, plenty of smoke, transitioning far too early again, but getting outer zone 5, filling it out all the way to the end. Nice fire shooting out of the bonnet right there and across the line. I need to speak to Vernon about this. The cars that are transitioning early and have like the back wheels going through this inner clip, will they be marked down even if they do make outer zone 5? Because well, that's what Wax did just now. He made outer zone 5 like a nice entry, but his back wheels went through this box. We've got Christos Gouda coming in, outside on zone 3, flipping the left wheel like he should in outside zone 5. Fielded in, was right on the limit of the track. Again, he's too much angle and coming out of the box a little bit early, but his entry was really nice. As he pushes across zone 7, going a little bit wide, putting out one wheel there and coming off the box a little bit early. But his flick was really nice. But he pushes too much angle in this turn, gets too much angle, which scrubs out his speed a bit and stops him from pushing the car to the outside line all the way to the cone. But I'm sure he'll figure it out. We've got Bolis Konstantinou coming through, transitioning across the track, claiming zone 2, but could have been a little bit deeper. Zone 3 looks like he's on point as he flicks it for inner zone 5. Again, flicked it a little bit too early for me, pushing himself out way wide, off all 4 wheels off the track and shutting down his run, going back up to the start line. Guys, give me 1 second. I'm just gonna pop you guys here for a second. I need to sort out my power bank so we don't lose the live. 31%. This is Alexis Harris, hands down. You can't see, but he's filling zone 2. He's pushing to zone 3, filling it up nicely as he comes around. Gets the front left wheel, could have been a bit deeper in the inner zone, but he flicks around for zone 5 very nicely, pushing the car to the outer zone all the way through. Going into zone 7 from the beginning until the end on the outside line. That was a very nice run by Alexis Harris. He's so far the most consistent driver for today, putting a very nice show with the smoke and the angle for the spectators, and also putting on a decent line for the judges. I wouldn't say decent, I'd say more than decent. I've enjoyed watching Alexis Harris today. We've got Sorin coming in, gets zone 2 pretty well, but he scrubbed his speed in zone 3. He was a bit shallow, transitioning far too early again, putting 2 wheels out of the track and having no speed for zone 5. All right, we're back. I think Sorin might be having some troubles with the car. It's not like Sorin to be off throttle on the run. We've got Toriz, El Toredo, E46, semi-pro. Transitions, could have been a bit deeper at the end of zone 2. Coming into zone 3, I feel like he could be at least a meter deeper. Transitions across the track too early, scrubbing his speed. Shallow line through zone 5, flicks it from zone 6, gets on the right line through zone 7 and across the finish line. I do like the stickers of Toriz's car. It looks nice. I like the black, darker cars. They look quite cool. With a few small accents of a nice bright color, they can stand out pretty nicely. Let's move over to the next run. We've got Bolis Konstantinou with his LS-powered BMW. Flicks across into zone 2, takes it quite nicely. Enters zone 3, pretty deep. Pushes his car around. Into zone 4, he misses zone 4. Transitions into the outer zone 5. Rides outer zone 5 all the way around. Zone 6 into zone 7, putting one wheel out as he crosses the finish line. I feel like Bolis could go a little bit faster. I was expecting to see more smoke from this LS-powered beast. we have a twin, Doros Francesco leading, Sodas Kyriakos Mariou chasing with the E46. Doros is on the outer line pushing around the track as Doros goes for his doors. They transition a little bit early from Doro, shallow line around the track, making Sodas get lost in his smoke. As they transition, Kyriakos goes for the dive but doesn't quite make it and almost spins out across the finish line. Because of Doro's quick initiation, quick transition on the inner zone here, he scrapped his speed, thus making Sodas press the brakes quite hard, which pushed him off the line and then made Soda have quite a hard to chase him in his smoke. Do we have another twin or is it a single run? We have a single run. It's Toris again from semi-pro. Filled out of zone 5 nicely from Toris. Into outer zone 7 and across the line. His runs are getting better and better each run. He's improving a little bit better every time. Yeah, that's why I'm on the inside. To be fair, the air conditioning, it's lovely in here. I'm going to go outside and regret it. We're already 1 hour into the live stream. I'm gonna live until we see some more cars come down, some drivers that we haven't seen a lot of. I.e. Simos Tikis I want to see more of, CH Loizu. I'd like to see more of Sodas and Doros. I'd like to see a little bit more of their runs. And whoever is up at the pits that we haven't seen yet. Savas SP needs to come down and do some runs. We haven't seen him drive at all. I don't think he's practiced this layout at all this weekend. You're still here, bro. You've been here from the beginning of the live stream. Shout out to Box in this lap. And for the feedback of the microphone. Thank you very much, bro. We're just waiting. This weekend we have El Agogo racing in a championship in Czech with another driver that I've forgotten his name now, Zagoril. El Agogo got P2 in qualifications yesterday and Zagoril got P1. So good luck to El Agogo racing in the championship this weekend. He's getting in some practice before the Drift Masters round in Finland. Well, he's filling out of zone 7 and across the line. El Agogo, if you watched him, he's racing in Drift Masters this year, the entire season. He didn't do so well in the second round, which was it's really the first round of the year because Italy got cancelled. But in Spain, he got a 54 on his first run, and I think it was a 50 on his second run. So he decided to go do a championship this weekend, get some more seat time in his car since it's been freshly rebuilt, and be ready for the round in Finland and put on a nice show for all of the Greek spectators that will be watching him from the live stream from Cyprus, making us very proud that we have officially the first Cypriot driver in the Drift Masters Championship. For me, one of the best drift championships, if not the best drift championship in the world for drifting, where all the best drivers from around the world come head to head and put on some crazy battles. And I have to say, Drift Masters has one of the best organizations for drifting in the world. I love going to the Drift Masters races. Everything is so organized, everything is on point, the media, to the track marshals, to the safety, to the seating, everything is perfect. It's an amazing race. And if you'd like to go to Driftmasters, you can head over to the Driftmasters Instagram account and check out when their next races are. We have Finland, then we have, I think, Ireland, then we have Latvia, Germany in Ferropolis, and then the final is in Poland in the stadium, which is probably already sold out. If it isn't, make sure you get your tickets, because that's going to be pretty sick. Oh, we've got some comments here. I did not see them. As a Brit, what is the Cypriot drifting scene like? Is it JDMs like S chassis or BMWs as they're cheaper and more reliable? Is that what that word says? Oh, we flipped the camera around. More available. I thought reliable wasn't the right word there. Basically, box in the lap, we have a mixture of cars in Cyprus. As you see, this year we've got more BMWs as they're more available, like you said, and the E46 chassis and the E36 chassis is quite cheap to pick up still, but they won't be soon. We do have quite a lot of S chassis though, because back in the 90s there was a lot of imports of S chassis. Myself, I have 3 S chassis. I've got an S13 street car and 2 S13 drift cars and a Lexus drift car as well, but it's not that great. Sorry about that, somebody was calling me. We've got Alexis Harris leading, chasing, we've got Wax. Wax messed up the transition there and threw himself off the line. Alexis Harris filling the outer zone nicely. And Wax trying to get back on his doors. So yeah, there's a nice mix of S chassis and BMWs and the occasional weird car that Banais with the Sapporo. He raced the Sapporo in the first couple of years, which I'd never seen that car before ever in my life. I didn't even know what it was. And this year he decided to build a Gallant, which is very different. I've not seen a Gallant race before in any drift championship. I know Balkans love BMWs. Tomorrow is the final, right? Tomorrow is not the final of the Cyprus Drift Championship. It's round 3. We have 6 rounds in the Cyprus Drift Championship. We've got another round in June, and I think it's a night race. And then we have another round in September. I think, it's 5 rounds of the Cyprus Drift Championship finishing in September. And in October, we have what is called our Super Final, which is organization by Drift Kings. And we have the Power Drift Club and the head of the Federation of Cyprus coming together to organize the Drift Kings Super Final, which is held in Athna Speedway, but it's held in the main track, which is behind this grandstand. And it starts from the Athna chicane. They come round Dagna 1, transition in front of the wall. They do the Kuma turn, which is behind the grandstand, and then go up and finish on the double apex. It's a nice battle in October. And some people come from abroad and race as well. We get like Leviskas coming, Sandra coming from Drift Happens, and a few Greek drivers. We have Andreas Wax leading, Sodas chasing. As they come round into outer zone 5, Wax is on a nice line, and Sodas is hunting, but needs to push a little bit more to get a bit closer to Andreas Wax as they cross the finish line. It's quite hard to see your comments here. Who is the big name in Cyprus drifting, like James Dean is in? So the big name in Cyprus is Ella Coco. Ella Coco has been 7 times Drift Championship winner at Athens Speedway, and he's also won last year's Drift Kings, and he's this year racing in Drift Masters, and currently he is practicing for the next round in Finland. We have CH Loizu coming round, flicking into outer zone 5, filling it nicely from the beginning, pushing, getting a little bit too much angle, but comes out at the edge of the track, pushes into outer zone 7 though, could have been a bit deeper from the beginning. Let's get into these comments. Why is the comment section so small? I think he means is tomorrow the actual top 32 and top 16. Yeah, tomorrow. So today is practice. The practice is held by the racetrack, and we have the organization of the Power Drift Club, which is the championship, here to help. Today finishes. The drivers go home, they relax, they turn up tomorrow bright and early. We have a morning briefing where the judges tell them the ins and outs of the layout. After watching the practice today, the judges have some remarks to tell the drivers. The drivers also have some remarks to tell the judges on the layout and how they're finding it. Then they go directly into practice. They have, I think, 1 or 2 hours to practice, starting with semi-pro first, and then the pro drivers. After that, we have a small break. Then we go directly into the qualifications. That will be first, semi-pro will be qualifying. Then as soon as semi-pro finishes, then we have the pro category qualifying. After that, we have the lunch break, which is normally around a 1 hour break. And then we go directly into the twin battles for semi-pro. That finishes around the last few battles of semi-pro. The live stream starts from Citavision, which is only available for people who have Citavision, which is unfortunate. And then the pro battles begin, and then they have a podium at the end of the day. We have Serki's son driving the BMW right here. First runs of the day, so he's just warming up the tires. Yeah, Box, I'm going to call you Box for now. Nobody camps at the track except me. I have a motorhome and I stay. I've been at the track since Wednesday, but I'm leaving tonight. I won't be at the championship tomorrow. I've stopped coming to the championship basically because I've been filming the drift scene in Cyprus for the last 15 years. I was the manager of Athens Speedway for 10 years, about 6 years ago. And I've been around the sport for a lot. And basically this year I decided to step away from the Cyprus Drift Championship. I'll bring you the live from the practice, and I'm here to support a few of my drivers for today. But during the actual event itself, I'm working on my motorhome so that I can take it to Drift Masters for Latvia and Germany. We have CH Loizu leading, filling out of zone 3. Andreas Wax coming close. They transition across the track. CH Loizu could have been a bit deeper from the beginning of zone 5. As they come out of zone 5 though, it's looking good for CH Loizu, and he flicks it. A nice quick flick onto the outer zone 7, and he pushes across the line and fills out the whole zone. So yeah, what I'm doing is I'm doing some projects on Sunday, which is tomorrow, which is the championship day, so I can get my motorhome ready so I can go to Drift Masters this year. That's my plan. But for the drivers themselves, because Cyprus is such a small island, you have like at Wax, for example, he's very close here. It's like about a 15-minute drive, so he'd rather go home and sleep in a nice comfortable bed in the air conditioning. Other drivers are from Nicosia, but Nicosia is only 40 minutes away. And then you have some drivers that are from Limassol. Now the Limassol drivers, some of them go home and they stay at home. Other drivers, they go and they find like an Airbnb or a hotel in the Ayanapa district. Ayanapa! You've probably all heard of Ayanapa, which is about 20 minutes away from Athna Speedway. So everybody's quite close to the vicinity of the track. The only person who stays here, as I say, is me, because I have a motorhome and I love staying at the track. I love waking up and seeing drift cars in the morning. And it's just easier for me to edit if I have a nice cool environment, food, water, and all. Nice flick from Alexis Harris. Close to the edge of the racetrack, filling out of zone 5 nicely, flicking it for zone 6, into zone 7, pushing the car to the finish line. Another nice run by Alexis Harris. I'm glad you don't mind being called Box. Where is this in Cyprus? This is at Athna Speedway. Go on Google Maps, type in Athna Speedway. That's A-C-H-N-A. Almost forgot how to spell then. Speedway. It's on the turning of Decalia, and it's about 20 minutes from Napa, 40 minutes from Nicosia, and about, I don't know, probably an hour or 40 minutes from Limassol. The race is happening tomorrow, Sunday, at Athna Speedway. Starts 10 o'clock. Entrance is €10. And I think under 12s is free, but I might be wrong there. Sugar Racing! Sugar Racing, a friend of ours, of the J-Spot, carbon fiber. If you want carbon fiber, go to Instagram, hit up Sugar Racing Composites, and he'll be more than happy to help you guys out. He makes some really nice carbon fiber stuff, and currently he has a beautiful RX-7 rotary carbon fiber table that's currently for sale, and I've asked him if I could have it, because it's really nice, but I understand that he's put a lot of time and effort into this table. It starts off with a nice, beautiful carbon fiber base. Then we have a beautiful rotary RX-7 engine painted in a deep metallic grey color, and then finishing off the top, we have a nice piece of cut glass. And he does a lot of cool things like that. Just bigging him up. He's a close friend of mine. We have CH Loizu coming in, flicking across the track, getting zone 2 nicely. Pushes, gets into zone 3, pushing on the outer of the line. Flicking the car into outer zone 3, filling it and reeling it in. Pushing the car all the way to outer zone 5 and now across outer zone 7. Oh, I got a bit mixed up there with the zones. Sorry about that. All right, and that's the end of the comments. Guys, feel free to ask me any questions you want. The chat box is a little bit small on my Streamlabs, so if I've missed your comment, just send me another comment and I'll answer it. But I'll answer any of your questions. For example, we can say some information now while there are no cars coming down. To race at the racetrack is open Saturday and Sunday. You come down with your own car, whether it's for time attack or for drifting. Mainly on the weekends, drifting is in this parking area. It's only in the racetrack on a drift day, which is on the 8th of June for whoever wants to come down. We, the J-Spot and Athna Speedway, organize it together. So we have drifting, we do different layouts in the main track, and it costs €80 for the whole day per driver, and you can just come down and practice drifting, and we do drift trains and all kinds of stuff. For the parking lot, I think it might be 70 euros still for the whole day per driver. And you can come down and you can practice any layout that you want, as long as you've spoken to the other drifters, so that you don't do a twin and one guy does one layout and then the other guy does another layout. And then in the main track we have time attack, which you get a sensor that tells you your lap times, included in the price. And you can do time attack cars and time attack for bikes. That costs 80 euros for the whole day per driver. We do also have memberships at the track as well. I think the memberships, I need to speak with Agusti, but I feel that a 6-month membership is 400 euros, and I think a 12-month membership is 500 euros, but it could be a little bit more than what I've just stated. I haven't asked the prices in a long time. And what the membership entails is any day that the track, on the schedule it says open track day, for example, that means you can turn up at the track with your membership and not pay anything extra, and you can just drive, whether it's drifting or time attack bikes or cars, which is really cool. It's cheaper than a gym membership. And during the week the track is open, but very rarely. It needs to be something special, like for example this week we had drift practice on Wednesday from 1 until 6. Thursday there was a private slot in where a couple of drifters came down and they rented out the track for the weekend, for the day. And then we had practice yesterday as well, and now practice today all day. But the track is closed today as the drifters take up most of the garages, and the live stream comes early to get everything ready for tomorrow's race. So there's like wires, like these wires for the live stream, they also run through the main racetrack, so that's why we shut down the racetrack for Saturday. We have Sergio's son coming round, doing his first run of the day. Let's just check some more. Yeah, it's pretty cheap to race at Athna Speedway. Some of the drivers complain, but this is the only racetrack in Cyprus. So, and I've been to a lot of racetracks in my career. I'm a videographer and I've been filming motorsport for most of my adult life. It's probably the cheapest track day I've ever come across, because like in the UK you're talking about 180 euros for like 5 hours in some cases. And the participation fee to race in the Drift Championship is quite cheap as well. I think it's around 120 to 150 euros if I'm not mistaken per race. It's gone all quiet all of a sudden. Maybe people are changing tires. Let's have a quick break for all of you guys that are watching the live stream. Go to the fridge, get yourselves a drink, go to the toilet, do whatever you need to. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to quickly nip into the toilet until another run comes down and we'll continue the live. I'll try and push the live for 2 hours this time. It just all depends on how many drivers are practicing. I just don't want the live to get too boring. But let's have like a 5-minute break. I'm going to nip to the toilet and also go get myself a bottle of water. You guys do the same, and you'll notice when I'm back, because I'll be standing and holding the phone instead of it being on this ledge that I've put. Anyway. We do have a car coming into the parking, but I'm just going to nip downstairs and get something to drink. Get some charge in the phone as well so it doesn't. Alright, we're charging as well.
Finally some apple juice, damn that's good.
Don't know if you all know, but on the iPhone you can tell your charger when you plug it in to say whatever you want it to say. And I have this stupid thing, I need to take it off the phone. It's very annoying in the live stream. It started off as a bit of a joke and fun, but every time I plug it in, it's so annoying listening to it say that thing. We could pop up to the pits. If anyone wants to go to the pits and we check out the cars in the pits, let me know in the chat. And maybe we can nip up there quickly, have a look at some of the cars, check out some of the engine bays, and then we can come back and finish off the live watching some more drifting. All I need is one person in the chat to tell me to go to the pits while it's this break. I think I'm going to go to the pits anyway because I can't even hear a car running at the moment. So that's what we'll do. Since my phone needs to be charged a little bit, let's take the microphone so that doesn't go missing. And let's go up to the pits and see what's going on in the pits. Watch what's going to happen. I'm going to open the door to go outside and they're going to start driving again. So far, so good. I'm rocking this nice bicycle for today. Get some cycling in, get some exercise in. Doing this with one hand. Not bad. Alright guys. I just need to go up to the start marshal and make sure that it's okay that I just jump across the parking lot now. And let's go head up to the pits. Alright, let's go to the pits. Marian Arexo! Wap! 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 Alright, I'm going to go up to the start line. Hello! That guy that just waved to us, he has a YouTube channel. I've forgotten the name of the YouTube channel. But he does... We've got Mr. Funnies! Alexis Harris. One of Alexis Harris' team members there. So this is where they initiate from. They park up not on this white line, but on this white line here. And it starts from here. And they go all the way down there. And they initiate. We'll do like a little cycle around the track. Maybe they're not drifting. Gorgeous from the organization. Now we're in the pits. We start off. This is Alexis Harris' pit, but he's not in at the moment. Then we've got... You know what we're going to do? We've got Kostas Christoforou with his S13 rocking a 2JZ there. Then we've got Toris rocking a nice Wisefab handbrake there. With a BMW engine, and the guys are all here. Then we've got Doros Francescu rocking an SR20 2.2 E30 BMW. Nice massive Garrett turbo. We've got on this side Neofilos Figartu with his really polished S13. You can see the fuel cell in the back there. And we have a beautiful MassWorks engine there. You want to say any words to the live? We'll see what do you think of the layout today?
It's fun, it's fast. Not so technical as other times, I think, but we're enjoying it. The cars like it.
Do you like these big clipping zones that we've put down?
I like the big clipping zones, but it's a question of, during the judging, how they will assess corrections and stuff.
Yeah, true.
So if you're not all the way outside and do a small correction, or back inside and then outside again, how much will they deduct? When as they said, it's difficult to say, it depends from every run between the drivers. But I think if you strive to do it the lap and you are always outside, look at you, the car on the outside.
Yeah, it's something different for the drivers, a little bit more technical. But thanks for the interview, and we'll see you back out there. That's Neofilos Figartu. He's in pro category. Moving over, we have Polis Konstantinos freshly built BMW. I'm going to get off the bicycle now, just so I can show you a little bit of this car, as it's just been built and it's really nice. We have an LS carbon intake system there. This car is beautiful. It's literally just been built for this year. Let's have a look inside the car. Konstantinos will not mind, but it's really fresh in here. Wow, the heat in this car. They must be so hot when they're driving. Nice seat there in the back. We've got the battery there and the fuel tank, which is at the back, which is underneath the car, to be honest, but that's just the fill-up point. There are those guys there. The driver is Polis. This is Pambos Nicolaou. Let's go to the other side before we get on the bicycle again. We've got the gallant of Mr. Panais Nicolaou sitting right there. There's the driver. On the inside of this car, handbrake coming out of the dashboard there. Very different location for the handbrake. Never seen that before. And a fan. Probably the only car that has a fan inside the car, which is pretty cool. Moving over, he's in pro category. Now we have Alexandros. This car came in from the UK, and he's fixed it up and wrapped it in this really nice blue wrap. He's in semi-pro. The driver's sitting right there. Hello. His car is really nice. Got the Alcantara dashboard. Nice location for the handbrake, very close to the steering wheel. That's what I like to see. And a nice roll cage. Over here, we have S. Ioannou, that's Spiros Ioannou with his E30. He is building a beautiful E36, but he'll probably drive it probably next season. Unfortunately, this car caught fire in the morning. That's what all the white stuff is. It's fire extinguisher spray, and it looks like the wiring loom might have melted. So they're fixing everything up so that he can race, at least get some practice runs in today, and then race for tomorrow for the championship. So we wish the driver the best of luck. He's got Kyros Artemiou helping him as well, which is there. We'll show you his car soon. But I wish him the best of luck. He's a new driver in the semi-pro category. Then we move over to Savas Spirou with his E36. Rocking a BMW engine. Very loud here. Turbo systems. We've got Savas SP here. That's just doing some last minute checks, and he's about to go out and practice. We haven't seen any runs from him yet. We've got Daniil, the FPV guys. They'd be flying the drones all the weekend. Nice to see them. Then we've got Igor. Igor's already done a lot of runs already. We've got his E36. We were here on Thursday practicing. The back of the car is completely cut out. And inside the car, I won't open the door because the bonnet's on the roof. But we have a nice handbrake, which is very responsive, and like a basic drift setup inside this car. Moving over, we have Sorin, Stefano Sorin's E46, rocking with the Duracell livery. Rear mounted radiator with the fuel cell in the back, and the interior Well, we can't really see through the window, but I'm not so comfortable with this driver. I'm not going to open up his car. Moving over, Kiros that you saw in the engine bay over there, this is his car. It's an E36 rocking a BMW engine. Another Turbo Systems turbo in the front there. Really nice car. Was one of my customers last season where I was making videos for him. You can find a lot of his videos on my Instagram page. Then we move over. We have Alekos Hasikos with the E30 rocking a 2JZ around. Πώς άλογα είναι η Aleko? 1020 horsepower from Alekos Hasikos. That is a lot of horsepower. Dual calipers. He's telling me the chassis can withstand 1,200 horsepower. Then we have inside his car, we have a screen up on the top there, Samsonas shifter. I don't know if it's a Samsonas gearbox. A lot of guys just put the shifter. It's a very nice car and it's been in the championship for many years. Igor just rocking up back at the track with more tires. Then you know this car pretty well. CH Loizu S13. It's rocking around 900 horsepower with his 2JZ. This is my main sponsor for my drift cars. He's my mechanic and he sponsored me all of the work for building my S13 and my Lexus. And his car is pretty sick. All fiberglass. We've got a fiberglass rear with these little adapters that make it very easy to fix. Rear mounted radiator. Inside the car we have a screen that's on and we've just updated with the Wisefab handbrake. I had his, because I do all of his videos, I had an onboard camera and I noticed that his old handbrake, the travel that he was doing by pulling the handbrake and being on the handbrake for so long to lock up the rear wheels. One day I said to him, bro, you need to change your handbrake. You're losing so many seconds on the initiation for holding the handbrake. Let's get a new one. We were watching James Dean's videos. His handbrake was very responsive, and I'm like, let's get something like that. We've moved to this Wisefab one. It's really nice. The travel is so short. It's really good. We've got Hidis here. Andreas Hidis, one of the technical guys. We have Angelos. We have Mr. Avgusti. He's the guy who's running the track. And the driver, CH Loizu. We'll see him more later in practice. Moving over, we have Sergio Gregoriu's team, Fill and Go, with their BMW. We have Sergio, which is the father, which is driving in the pro category. And we have Lucas, which is this guy right here, who is driving in the semi-pro category. And they're sharing the car for today. I'll see your comments in a little bit, guys. The sun is bright and I can't really see the phone that well. Moving over now, we've got Andreas Wax. Wait a second. There's a car missing from here. ¿Dónde está tu Wax? Bien gado. So Wax is on the start line with the S14 2JZ. He also has this S13 2JZ as well, which is his second car, to be honest. It's a backup car. And then we've got Jaburas this year. He's racing. Normally he has an E36 with an LS powered motor, but this year, due to some issues, the car isn't running this year, so they're racing with Jaburas S15, rocking a front and rear clamshell in fiberglass, and this car has the V6 from the 350Z. This car used to be the track's drift car for our lessons, and I really miss that I can't drive this thing anymore. It was so much fun. I loved every lesson that I did in this car. We actually did a lesson for Itai, who's racing in Drift Masters. I gave him his first drift lesson in this car, so I'm pretty proud of that. Then we move over to BMW of Bambos Nicolau, rocking this crazy V8 with the most craziest manifold setup ever. Pretty nuts. I can hear my voice in the pits. Now we move into his interior. I've never actually been inside this car before. We've got a tilt and pedal box down at the bottom there, screen, handbrake, Samsonas gearbox on this car. And this blue thing, I really want to know. I've seen it on another car in the north. I don't know what it is. Let's see some of, is that an iPad screen as a screen? Maybe not an iPad, but it's some sort of tablet as a screen, yes. Then we move over, we have C. Pedro, racing in semi-pro, BMW powered, turbo, E46. Another sort of like normal setup for the interior. The handbrake for me is a bit too far away from the steering wheel. I feel like it takes you a good 1 second or like half a second to get from the handbrake to the steering wheel. But most of the drivers find it easier to have it in this setup, because I've had this discussion with them many times before. Moving over, we have Christos Gouda, E30, left-hand drive, rocking a 2JZ. He also has a nice R32? Yeah, I think it was an R32 they had. Yeah, it's very different in here. I've never actually had a look at this car on the inside. We've got C. Petru, we've got Nikis, we've got Inception watching the live stream. Really? There must be latency. Here we have Christos Gouda, that's the driver of this car. Did some nice runs today. And then we finish off the pit setup today with Kyriakos Marios Tsoda. You saw him up at the judge tower. We have a Haltech screen on the inside there. Nice dashboard. He's invested quite a lot of money into this car. Drilled disc brakes in the rear. These cars, all of Tsoda's cars are put together really nicely. LSXR. Looks really good. Andreas takes good care of Tsodas, and all of his cars are immaculate. And we've heard rumors that he's building an S15. Anyway, guys, Savas SP is heading down to the start line. Let's go down back to the judging tower and let's film a bit more of the practice runs. And hopefully we'll see some of these drivers that are in the pits go out there. I would go and get an interview from CH Loizu, but he looks like he's in the zone, so I won't go over there yet. Let's pick up our trusty bicycle. Alright, guys. Sugar Racing Rotterdam, μετά τι είναι? Yeah, Box, they're right-hand drive cars in Cyprus. All of our cars are right-hand drive. Just having a look at some of the comments. Why the 350Z V6? They're terrible, they blow up. A lot of people engine swap them. That engine's lasted for the last 10 years being a drift car for practice. He bought it mainly not for the championship. The driver bought it for his daughter to start drifting. So it's a good basic entry-level drift car. So that's why she bought it. I think other people are watching my live. I can hear my voice. It's a little bit trippy. But I don't think she'll be racing that in the championship. Sugar Racing, we'll ask him later because we saw a car in the north. Me and Sugar Racing went out there last weekend for the Gymkhana, and we saw one of those air things and we didn't know what it was. So here we've got Savas SP, we've got Alexis Harris, and we've got Andreas Wax on the line there. I'm going to quickly go down into the track as there's a few pedestrian cars going down there, so that means I can go down. Simos Tikis. Let's get back into that air conditioning. I forgot to get water again. Every time I come to the championship, I never have something to drink with me. Where are my sunglasses? Whee! That's Augustis. He's the guy who's running the track this weekend. Πρέπει να πάω στον πύργο. I would like to... Ooh, my front brakes are terrible on this thing. I'd like to lock my bicycle up because it always gets nicked at these events. Savas SP is coming into the parking lot. One second, guys, I need to lock up my bicycle so it doesn't get nicked. Give me a second. Guys, just give me 1 second. 1 second as I just, oh shit, where are my keys? There they are. We'll go back up and film the rest of the practice. Alexis Harris chasing Andreas Wax. Whoa! Alexis Harris straightened, almost went into the side of Andreas Wax there. Oh. Lovely jubbly, we're back in the air conditioning. Just read your last comments. Didn't know Cyprus, a right-hand drive like in the UK. Well, it used to be... I mean, we've got lots of British bases in Cyprus, and it used to be, I can't think of the correct word, to be honest. I don't really want to make a mistake there. Yeah, you could, yeah, that's what I didn't want to say, Box. That's why. If I was you, oh, wait a second. If I was you, make your bicycle look old and in the bad condition so no one steals it. Whew. Yes, I will. I don't really want to do that, to be honest, because it's a nice bike. It's a lot of, there were some BMX guys that came to one of the events and they told me, bro, this bike is like quite rare and you should look after it, and it's actually has, there's some it has some, what do you call it, value in it. So that's why I didn't really paint it. But I have the bicycle lock on it anyway, so. Because it's a big distance to walk, and I just, you know what happens, I come here, and then like the organizers see the bicycle, and they're like, oh, that's a quick way to go to the pits. And then I want to go to the pits, and I have to walk, which I don't mind, but it's not fast enough for the live stream. Anyway, moving back to the practice of the third round of the Cyprus Drift Championship. Just waiting for Nicolas Ioannidis, he's one of the organizers, to walk across the track. And then the start guy will get the okay to push for the next run. Yeah, bro, everything is... yeah, we've got those plug sockets. What part of the UK are you from? I was born in North Finchley, but I haven't lived there. I've lived in Cyprus all of my life. I moved back, I don't know, like 10 years ago. I moved down to Brighton, lived there for a bit, and then Athens Speedway opened while I was living in the UK, and I started watching some YouTube videos from this new racetrack that opened in Cyprus, and I was like, wait a second, I'm not working at a toy shop when there's a racetrack in Cyprus. So what I did was I contacted a few people. I didn't know who the owner of the racetrack was at the time, and I contacted a few people. They put me in touch with the owner of the racetrack, and I told him I'll fly out from the UK and I'll make you a video of your racetrack for free. I don't want any money. I just want to be a part of the new racetrack in Cyprus. We've got Lucas Sergio Gregoriou's son coming in. Could be deeper in zone 3. Transitions across the track. Too early. Thus getting a shallow line at the entry of zone 5. Pushing and filling zone 5 towards the end. Transitioning across zone 6. Into zone 7 on the outer line. And comes out of the box a little bit early. So yeah, I basically I flew into Cyprus, made a video of the track. The owner gave me the racetrack for a week, and his son, who was a drifter at the time. We did lots of different kinds of videos and stuff like that, and then I made the Athena Speedway promo video, which is available on Vimeo. I know, don't ask me why it's on Vimeo. I put it on Vimeo at the time, and it's available on athenaspeedway.com. On the website, it's the video, but have in mind I did that video back in 2011. And then when I came to deliver the video, I thought I would do it in person, and the owner of the track took me out for dinner. I gave him a DVD case, I remember, with the CD inside with Athena Speedway. He watched the video at home, and then he offered me a job to come and run Athena Speedway. And I did that back in, I think I went straight back to the UK, packed all my stuff up, got on the next plane, came back to Cyprus, went and lived with my parents for a bit at that time, and I started working at the track. Back then the track was open every day. Alexis Harris into zone 3. Could have been a bit deeper in zone 3 towards the end. Transitions completely, misses zone 4, gets into zone 5. Nice and deep in zone 5, all the way around the track. Into zone 6. Into zone 7 as the anti-lag burbles. God, I love the sounds of this S15. Then I worked at Athena for 6-7 years. And some guys from Porsche in Germany came to do some events at the racetrack. And they offered me a position to be in the team to do these luxury holidays in Europe, and I was the photographer and one of the team organizers, let's say, and I did that for a couple of years because it was a very highly paid job. It was a nice experience. I got to travel all of Europe, go to really nice 5-star hotels, which I was exhausted, so I didn't really get to use them that much. But we got to drive all of the nice passes. We did Stelvio Pass, Furken Pass. We did all the passes. I can't really remember all of them, to be honest. Neofitos Figatou, that we saw in the interview, transitions a little bit too early, quite shallow into zone 5, scrubs out his speeds, almost straightens, clutch kicks it, gets it back sideways again, through zone 6, pushing the car into zone 7 and across the line. Fast forward a couple of years, I left this Porsche job, I came back to Cyprus. I continued working at the track, but not for the owner, for the guy who's renting it currently. Worked here for a bit. Had enough of working at the racetrack, to be honest, because it'd been part of most of my life. Decided to build a motorhome, and now my plan is to go to the EU and go traveling for a couple of months as a test. Then I'll come back to Cyprus, do any changes I need to do, and then I would like to go back into Europe for a couple of years and just go traveling. Go to all of the Drift Masters races and any other car events that I find along the way. I was talking to a few people, they told me to go to Nürburgring, and there's a lot of nice events at the Nürburgring. And maybe I'll come to the UK, I don't know yet. The Midlands. That's where my grandmother's from. Oh, you're close to Donington Park. I've never been to Donington Park, but I'd really like to go. I've been to Silverstone. I've been to the Goodwood Festival one time. But I've not been to Donington Park and like some other track that you've got with the sisters, Three Sisters or something like that. I've never been to that either. Wave the Cyprus flag in the Drift Master stream so we recognize you. I will do. I'll do another live stream from Drift Masters as well. I'll do a live stream of their practice runs. Alekos Hasigos 1020 horsepower in the 2JZ E30 goes into zone 5 a little bit shallow. Could have been deeper, but flicks it into zone 7, still on a shallow line and pushes across the finish line. That's not where we want to see him. He's done way better lines before. Thanks for the follow, bro, on Instagram. You'll see some of me driving my Lexus, my shipbox Lexus. And you'll see lots of stuff from CH Loisu Garage. And basically what I get up to during the week. Neofidos Figatu. Could push it a little bit more into zone 3 now. He's pushed it and got it onto the racing line. Transitions across the track, gets nicely deep into zone 5. Pushing it around, coming out of zone 5. Going into zone 7. Could be a little bit deeper in zone 7 towards the finish line, but that run was a lot better than the previous one. Wow, we're almost at 2 hours. I think I'm going to close the live at the 2 hour mark, depending on how many cars practice. But it's quite a long live, and I've been talking for most of it. Who do we have next? We have a twin. We've got Bambos Nicolaou leading, Christos Gudak chasing as they come round the corner. Bambos Nicolaou pushes the car to the outside lines. Gudak pushes his car to match. Oh, I thought we were going to have a spin then. Bambos Nicolaou coming out of going into zone 7, Nikos Gudak going for the final push on the doors. I'm glad you've been enjoying the stream, bro. It's nice to actually have somebody to chat with in the chat. I wish more people wrote comments. If you're Greek speaking, you can still write me yeah, the Three Sisters is a great where they do the Drift League. Lucas Gregoriou. Yeah, I just wish more people spoke on the live stream. I like the interaction. It's fun to tell you guys different stuff about the track. Lucas coming round. Zone 5, filling it quite well. Going into zone 7. Could be deeper though. Comes out of zone 7 far too early. What I was going to say was that if you're a Greek speaker, you can write me a question in Greek and I'll read it in Greek and I'll answer it in English so that the people, I want to keep the channel in English and the live stream in English, but I will answer you in English if you send me a Greek question. I'm just going to say that in Greek quickly, even though I've just said I'm going to keep it in English. Αν έχετε ερωτήσεις στα ελληνικά, ρωτάτε με στα ελληνικά και να απαντήσω στα αγγλικά για να μείνει αγγλικό το κανάλι, γιατί θέλω να είναι στα αγγλικά. Είναι πιο εύκολο για μένα να μην με περιπέζετε με τα ελληνικά μου. Να μην με περιπέζετε με τα ελληνικά μου, παιδιά. Anyway, waiting for the next run now. Alekos Hasigos, 2JZ E30. Gets zone 2. Enters zone 3 deep. Pushes the car to the outer line. Comes to zone 4. Gets that nicely. Flicks it a little bit too early. Too much angle and goes into a spin. Theophanis Wax is here. He's driving the S14. and he is driving his S13 as well. He's practicing with both cars today, but most likely he will be driving his S14 tomorrow in the championship, round 3 of this Cyprus Drift Championship. There is a guy standing in the worst place you can possibly stand on the initiation. Is he on the inside of the wall? I think he's on the outside of the wall. Yeah, he's definitely going to get told to move. You cannot stand there. All right, as we wait for that guy to get out of the racing track, we wait for the next round to come. The FPV takes off and goes up to the start line, which means maybe we'll have another run, and we have another car turning into the track now. I think it's the president's car, Yorgos Xelepis, with his S13 Cidavision. Yeah, it's his car. I think it's just like a show car. They park it here, and it's got like the advertisement of Cidavision, which they do the live stream. I don't think anybody will be racing that car this weekend. Yeah, it's 2 different countries. So Cyprus, we have our own flag with the island, the whole island, and the 2 olive leaf branches. And the Greek flag is the white and blue flag. 2 different countries. The dialect is very different. We can understand Greeks, but they can't understand the Cypriot that well. That's from my experience. It's getting a bit quiet now towards this time. It's 2 o'clock, hottest part of the day. The sun has come out now. The clouds have sort of moved out the way. We've lost all of that shade that we had in the morning. And yeah, I think maybe we will have like a bit of a break now, and the cars, they can continue drifting throughout the break, but there will be much less cars drifting. As you see, there's huge big gaps in between the runs now. So we'll watch like another 2 runs, and then I'm going to close the live. I'm going to go have a break as well. I don't think I'll be doing another live. If I do another live today, it's going to be on Instagram, but I'm not promising anything because it's been 2 hours I've been talking now. Anyway, let's move over to the next run. We've got a twin battle. We've got Christos Skouda leading in the E30 chasing. We've got Bambos Nicolaou with the LS. Christos Skouda on a nice line all the way on the outside. He transitions across the track. Christos Skouda gets into outer zone 5 nicely. Bambos goes for a dive, but he's far too shallow. Christos Skouda goes around the turn and across the finish line. That was a nice run by Christos Skouda, filling out the zones. Bambos Halarambo's dive was a little bit aggressive, pushing him a little bit. I don't want to say he was straight, but he was getting straighter, and I'm getting at the end of the live now. I don't know how David Egan does it for like 2 hours, 3 hours on the live stream. Panais with the Gallant. Could have been a bit deeper in zone 3, flicks it through zone 4 into zone 5, way too shallow though, all the way around. Is being Cypriot like being Portuguese when you're I don't feel it's overshadowed. We're such different countries that I think we both have our own limelight. Greece is famous for lots of things. Cyprus is famous for lots of things. So I don't feel like we're overshadowed too much, to be honest. My favorite car in the Cyprus Drift Championship? That's a good question. My favorite car in the Cyprus Drift Championship. It's going to be an S chassis for sure, because I love S chassis. I have 3 of them. Look-wise, I'm trying to think which is the best looking car out of the whole grid. The car that I like the most is Alexis Harris, the grey S15 with the red bonnet. It's insane, like the noise it makes, the speed, the anti-lag, everything about that car, I love it. But the outside of the car isn't great. The Nardo grey for drifting in the championship, I don't really like it that much. I want the car to be bright and colourful. I don't know if you've seen my Lexus, but like I like my cars to be super colourful. My Lexus is completely covered in graffiti paint. Kyriakos Marios Tsolas. Nice run by Kyriakos Mario Tsolas with his BMW. And like, for example, I like Tsolas BMW. It's a clean, fresh build. It's really nice. But I'm not a BMW fanboy. Don't slaughter me in the comments. I'm an S chassis boy. I love my Nissan stuff. So Alexis Harris' car, I love it. But he could do something with the outside. I've told him, like, graffiti your car like I did my Lexus. It's bright, colorful, it stands out. Here we've got Kostas Christoforou, S13 2JZ, pushing to outer zone 3. Could be a bit deeper towards the end of the zone. Transitions across the track. Gets into outer zone 5, but he could have been deeper from the beginning. Coming out of outer zone 5 though, he's pretty good. Transitions across the track. And across the line. Bambos! Halarambos! His car is quite nice as well. I like that he rocks the pink color. It's very ballsy in such a male environment to rock a pink, bright print color. So I do like that. And there's some nice small details on the car, like there's neon lights on the inside, which is really nice. His back boot lid is cut out into like a shape of a heart. The cage that's around the fuel tank says something like BMW related. We have C. Bedru loaded on the trailer, going home, do some last minute changes on the car and be down tomorrow. I see your car. Yeah, my car is in the track. I just parked it up so that I can show it off for a bit today, but I will be parking it up so it's out of the way for tomorrow's race. We've got El Toredo, BMW E46 in semi-pro. Gets into outer zone 3 nicely. Pushes the car in, transitions across the track. Again, a bit too early, El Toredo. A bit too early. Comes out of outer zone 4 nicely across 6, and then into outer zone 7 and across the line. El Toredo, you need to figure out your transition from here to there. You're transitioning and you're too shallow. You need to be deep in the zone so you can carry your speed on the outer line all the way around until the next cone over there. All right, so now we've passed the 2-hour mark. We have Banais with the Gallant, transitions into outer zone 2, gets it, he's on a nice line. Keep it there, bro, keep it there. Comes off the line just a little bit on the exit of outer zone 3, transitions across the track a little bit early, which scrubs out his speed a bit. He's pushing the car, but he's on the wrong line through outer zone 5, 6, gets into outer zone 7 and pushes it nicely across the finish line. I wonder who's coming now. I'm imagining most of the drivers have finished their tires for today, because they must have, like, semi-pro, I think they're getting maybe 4 to 5 runs, maybe 6 runs out of their tires, depending on the horsepower. But in the pro category, we have a very late initiation from El Toredo. He spins out. We've got Kyriakos Marios Soda on the outer line of the track, coming across the transition. Transitions nicely into zone 5. A very nice run there. A little correction through zone 5. Comes out of zone 5 flying into zone 7 at the outside of the line and across the finish line. That was a nice run by Kyriakos Marios Soda. They will do another 1 or 2 runs. Oh, and Bambo now comes. Bambo! Bambo's drift on Instagram. Kostas Christoforou. Could have been a bit deeper into zone 3 as he pushes it now to the outer of the zone. Transitions across the track. Transitions too early. Has a bit of a shallow line. He's coming out of zone 3. He's back on the line now. Through zone 6 into zone 7 and pushes the car on the outside. For tomorrow, the drivers, I think, are mostly going to get this point. They're going to get this point, but they'll maybe come out a bit early. They'll have a lot of trouble with this inner zone, the guide with the left wheel. This zone is going to be quite hard for some of the drivers tomorrow to actually go in from the deep zone and come out deep in the zone. Some guys are going in a bit shallow and coming out deep. Some are going in deep and coming out shallow. And then the easiest clip of the day is the last clip before the finish line. There's my favorite car leaving. Alexis Harris with his 2JZ S15 rocking 1000 horsepower. Told me the other day that it's incredibly fast and a little bit scary to drive. What tire brands are we using in Cyprus? So we've got Zeknova by my sponsor Sodiris SP Tires. He brings Zeknova to Cyprus. Then we have Tri-Ace. Then we have a lot of drivers are rocking Linglong Supermax and the Hero Flash models. Maybe for practice. Wax was telling me they're quite grippy, so he was thinking about using them to race in the championship. So that's something new. We have the occasional Westlake, but they're not that popular out here. And the Formula somethings. I've seen those on a lot. Some drivers have like really random makes, like some people use Riken. We have other drivers using, what's that other one? I've forgotten the name of the company now. But yeah, that mostly it's Tri-Ace and Zeknova and what's the other brand? God damn, I forgot. But for example, like Alexis Harris, which his car just left now, but he's parked in that Diplo Gambino, the double cabin there. He's using Zeknova. CH Loizo is using Zeknova. Andreas Wax was using Linglong yesterday, which I was very surprised to see him on Linglongs. But he was telling me they were really nice tires. I have a difficult question for you. Which is the best BMW at the Drift Championship? The best BMW at the Drift Championship. Oh, we have an accident! Barnais with a Gallant went a little bit too deep in zone 3, thus clipped the wall. The driver seems completely okay though. I can see him in the car moving his hands, just opened the door. The organization is going to go down there. We'll go down there as well and have a little bit look up close. The best BMW, Theophani, is Tsodas. Tsodas BMW is amazing. Ooh, I almost tripped on the live stream wire. Kyriakos Marios Tsodas BMW is so clean and it's so built to such a high level. Andreas, that's building him his car, all of the cars are really nice. So I like the cars that are like super clean, just like a professional drift car. I can't wait for Tsodas' S15. Let's go and see what's happened over here. So yeah, he's gone a bit too deep into outer zone 3, And just after the line, there's what we call marbles. I've talked about this in another of my live streams, but the marbles, this is Mr. Chelebis. These are the not marbles. If you go on this stuff, which is like once you pass the white line, there's a lot of this old tire that's left behind from the tires. Just noticed I'm zoomed in. If you go on this stuff, it's super slippery, so you can see where he went off. He was a bit too wide there, went through the marbles, slipped, caught the back of the car on the wall, and it spun him round 180, and he's hit the wall again with the other side of the car. But the driver's fine. They'll come down now and fix the wall. Panais, εντάξει. Bomba means he's great. This is drifting. We get the spheri, the hammer, and we'll beat the shit out of the gallon and get it straightened.
Morning is red.
Spoilers come off a little bit. And the other side, basically his wheel stopped directly on the tire, but he has mullered the back of that car a little bit. Where's his bumper gone? Maybe he didn't have the bumper on the car. There's some... Just smelling what that is, it seems to be water on the floor. It's not fuel, so you guys can relax a bit. So yeah, now you can see the back of the car. He's gonna need some new backlights. But wow, look how much tire is here. Look at that. My whole shoe is underneath the amount of tire that's there. This needs to be blowed with the air gun just so that we have not all of these marbles all around the outside of the track. As long as the driver is okay, everything else is fixable. We've got Chelebis and Paddock just fitting the last tires on the tire wall. It's a bit sketchy now, there's no tires here. I feel like I need to get some of these top tires and just put them on the low spots so that it doesn't cause like a ramp and then the cars ramp up the tires and go over the wall. I say this speaking from experience. This is what I've done in the past. There was a low point of the tires on the wall and the back of my S13. The back of my S13, like this one, is a terrible way to put it. They put it like it's going to just roll off the wall into the track. I think that's a little bit better. Let's put that there. Yeah, and my back of my car went up almost to the top of the wall. It was a bit sketchy. We have another tire. What do you think of the layout? Whoa, Alexi Hari almost running me over. Alexi Hari doesn't give a shit. What are you doing? What's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? Alexis Hari's power. Bravo, eh? I was going to get a little bit of insight from Alexis Harris on the layout, but he almost ran me over. Burn out! He is a nutcase. Well, that was interesting. I'll go up to the top of the tower. This is what I'm standing in, the tower. The judges will be standing up there for tomorrow, since they have 360 views of the layout. Over there at the top is the VIP section. There'll be lots of Red Bull umbrellas tomorrow, and there'll be a nice buffet with some nice hamburgers and shit like that. Now we have a battle. We have Bambos. No, we don't. We have El Toredo leading. Costas Pastis chasing. Costas sorry. Oh, I got both of the drivers mixed up then. Back in the AC. Yeah, it's a Gallant, bro. Yes, it is a Gallant. There, we even got a crash on the live. Glad the driver's okay. He told me that the car will be back to normal tomorrow morning. And we'll film a few more runs and then I'm going to call it a day. I'm going to go have lunch. And then I'm going to film some stories for Instagram. I need to do some filming for CH Loizu. Get an interview with him maybe later. There he is. Speak of the devil. CH Loizu leading, followed by Andreas Wax. Goes for the dive. CH Loizu filling out zone 3 nicely. Andreas Wax getting lost in the smoke a little bit. CH Loizu transitions for zone 5. Could have been a bit deeper on the entry of zone 5. Andreas Wax back. Getting on the doors of CH Loizu, they transition, into zone 7 and across the line. It was nice to see Andreas Wax going for some nice dives there to get on the doors of CH Loizu. CH Loizu doing a nice run there, but he could have been a little bit deeper, like 1 meter deeper in zone 5. Top 3 for solo battles. Solo battles, you mean qualify runs, because you can't have a solo battle. But like just for the qualifications, in semi-pro, we should have, this is Sabas SP. Let me have a think about it. Unfortunately, Dave Bell won't be racing in semi-pro on this round. This is car broke yesterday in practice, but we should have, I would say, Kyriakos Aristidou. Wait a second for this run to finish. I would say Kyriakos Aristidou in semi-pro in first position for the qualification. Second position, it's going to be between, I would like to push Igor, because he's a friend of mine, so I'm a bit biased. So either Igor or C. Bedru in second on P2 for qualifying in semi-pro. And 3, we'll either have Alexandros or maybe Igor. There's not that many cars in semi-pro. In pro category, if everything goes right, I would expect after watching today's practice for Alexis Harris to have P1 in the qualification. But as we all know, nerves come to play a massive role in drift championships. So this could change completely tomorrow. But I would expect, let's see Simos Tikis run. Simos Tikis is a very consistent driver, pushing his E36 2JZ into zone 3. Fills zone 3 completely on the outer line. Transitions, what a nice transition into zone 5. Keeps it on the outside line. Looks like he has all the wheels in the track. Across zone 7 and across the line. I mean, just watching Simos Tikis run, you could see he could be in the top 3 drivers tomorrow as well. So I would say top 3 would be maybe Tikis, Alexis Harris, Wax was doing pretty well, CH Loizu is going to do pretty well. Now we have Wax leading, CH Loizu chasing. Wax goes through zone 2 into zone 3. Christos goes for the dive. Goes for the dive again. Wax comes out of zone 3 for filling it. A nice transition into zone 4. Could have been a little bit deeper. I'm talking about 30 centimeters deeper into zone 4. Zone 5, sorry. Transitions into zone 7. Christo goes for the dive across the finish line. See, Andreas Wax is a really good driver as well. It's more tricky in pro, but I would say Alexis Harris wax, CH Loizu, Sodas if he puts on a good run, and Bambos Halarambus, and also Bambos Nicolau did some good runs today. It's hard to say for semi-pro, to be honest. It all depends on their nerves tomorrow and how much anxiety and ajos they have. Toriz transitions a little bit on the edge of the track there. There's quite a lot of smoke here now. Comes out of zone 5, across zone 6 into zone 7 on the outside of the track. So Fanny, I hope that answered your question. It was a little bit confusing, the answer, if I'm honest, about the pro category. But you get what I'm trying to say. Another battle, we've got Kyros Artemiou leading with the E36 yellow Techstar, chased by Alexandros in an E36. We have... we forgot about Kyros. Kyros in semi-pro, isn't he? If Kyros in semi-pro... I can't remember anymore. If Kyros is in semi-pro, he has a good chance of getting on the podium as well. But I can't remember. I think maybe did he move into pro this year? I'm not so sure. One of the disadvantages of not coming to the championship on Sunday. Now I don't know who's racing anymore. In like which category they are. Not very professional from my side. I'll get better on the next live. Just going through your comments. Yeah, it was a nice run before. Will you be cheering from home? Home hero. Evavoras Babasava. Who's Evavoras Babasava? No, bro. I didn't even know there was somebody racing in the IndyCar Championship. I don't really watch that kind of stuff, to be honest. Tomorrow I'll tell you where I'm going to be. I'm going to be at the beach. Simos Tikis leading, chasing. CH Loizu goes for the dive. Simos Tikis filling out of zone 3. CH Loizu getting close as they transition across the track. Simos Tikis goes into outer zone 5. CH Loizu had a little bit of a correction there. Simos Tikis comes out of outer zone 5, filled it nicely, goes into outer zone 7 while CH Loizu gets on the doors and across the finish line. It was a nice run by Simos Tikis. CH Loizu had a good run until this point where he made a correction and lost some distance, but it was a nice battle nevertheless. Takamura came yesterday and he did practice. I don't know if he will come here today as well. Yeah, we missed Takamura's E30. It was nice, but I do like the E46 he's built. It's pretty crazy. BC Racing, even in Cyprus. Yeah, man, most of the cars are running BC Racing suspension. I would say 70 or 80% are running BC Racing in Cyprus. We have a few cars that are on maybe HKS. I saw a car yesterday on, what was it racing? It was a suspension company I never heard of. I thought it was KTS. Oh, I'm so happy you're all there. Are you guys all there? My phone ran out of battery and I didn't notice and it just cut the live stream, but I think I've managed to restart it in time before the live finished completely. Box in this lap, can you let me know if it's connected okay? Is it all back to normal again? Is it the same live stream on YouTube that's been pushed? Perfect, bro. Thanks for the feedback, man. Yeah, I'm sorry about that, guys. I got carried away talking to you guys, and I completely ignored the 10% warning that I got about the battery, and then it shut off. I'm so happy I got back on the live though. This happened last time to me as well, and I have a power bank with me. I don't know what I was thinking. We won't let that happen again. Kyriakos Marios Tsolas. Sorry about that, guys. I'm back now 100%. That was a close call. I was just talking and I turn around and look at my phone. I'm like, why is my screen black? And then I'm like, oh my God, I ran out of battery. Jesus. I do apologize. We have another twin. We have Alexandros leading, Kyros Artemiou chasing. Kyros goes for a small dive. Another dive getting closer to him. Alexandros riding out, zone 3 into zone 4, across the track for zone 5. Kyros having a little bit of a correction and almost straightening. They transition into zone 7. Kyros pushes but doesn't get close. It looks like his bonnet is open. The left side of Kyros Artemiou's bonnet went to open up a little bit. I'm hoping the latch is clicked with the safety. Maybe it's come up. They'll check it on the start line. The judges' room is the actual room I'm standing in. We've got Igor going through zone 2 nicely, into zone 3, filling out zone 3 nicely. Transitioning across the track a little bit too early again, putting 1 or 2 wheels out. Coming to zone 6, into zone 7, and across the line. So this is the judges' room. It's the second floor of the tower. They're not here at the moment. They've gone for lunch, I think. But this is the room. They have almost 360 views. They can stand here, see all the way around. Basically, whatever you've been watching today is what they can see. You can see all of the track. This thing here is the toilet. And if you're wondering why there's so many televisions up there, because I get this question quite a lot. When the track was first built back in 2011, the owner of the track had put a lot of cameras around the parking area so that when we had let me just watch Bolis's run and then I'll tell you about the TVs and a little bit of the history of the track. So the owner of the track had placed a lot of cameras all around the parking area, and this was for the judges to watch and have like a better view of the track. But we didn't really use them ever. They've just sort of sat here. They've probably only been turned on twice in their life. And back then we had, let's watch this twin battle. We have Igor leading and Alexandros chasing. Igor on the outside of the track as Alexandros goes for the door. A nice close battle from Alexandros. Alexandros almost hitting the cone there. Igor goes into outer zone 5 nicely, and Alexandros is on his doors. Alexandro's taking a bit of a shortcut to get on the doors and across the finish line. He did cut quite a bit of the track. So the Aachen Speedway, it was designed by about 3 or 4 people, one of them being Hiroki Furuse. Hiroki Furuse is the Japanese manager back in the day of Team Orange. I doubt that he's still the manager of Team Orange in Japan. That's why in the big track, there's a few names, like the big turn here is called Kuma. It's after Kumakumbo from Team Orange. They had flown them out to Cyprus. I missed this event. I hadn't arrived at Aachen Speedway just during this time. But I heard that they had, the owner paid for all of Team Orange to come out to Cyprus, and they did a 7-car drift train around the parking using S15s. The photos from this event are on the canteen windows. We can't really see them from here, and they're probably quite sun-faded. But Hiroki helped design the racetrack, so it had a lot of like Japanese influence. The racetrack has like it has the wall from Bihoku, for example, incorporated in the design. The asphalt is a special mix, which is for drifting, so that it was low. I've been talking for far too long. Uses up less tires for drifting. Like if you do a burnout in the big track and you stay in standstill burnout, you'll make 2 holes through the asphalt. And we had Hiroki Furuse was the judge of the drift championship for many years, and he taught the drivers like the fly and then power slide sort of Japanese style. Then he left, and then we had numerous judges have been through the Cyprus Drift Championship. We had Niall from Drift All-Stars come and judge for a while. Then we had some Greek judges come and judge for a while. And now, lately, we've been having Adam Kenmeri from Hungary, Drift King's CEO, Mike, and we have then we have Vernon from Drift Masters that's also judging. He was with me before, but they've nipped off for lunch. So that's Vernon, Adam, and Mike as the judges for the last 3-4 years. And then in October, we have a Drift Kings battle, a Drift Kings Championship, which is the super final, which is Adam and Vernon are the judges for that race. And Mike is race control, since he's the top of the organization, let's say. The judges are here. They've left. They're going to come back probably in the afternoon, maybe. And then tomorrow morning, all of the drivers will get the lowdown from their practice. CRTs in 2012. Forgive me, bro, but what's the CRTs? I'm going to be a bit thick. I don't know what that is. I think that's the end of practice, guys. I can't hear any more cars on. I can give you I can quickly go and show you what Aachen Speedway looks like from above. There's a map that's over there where the canteen is. Just for the guys that haven't been on the live stream before, I'll show you that map, and then I'll probably shut down the live stream because I just saw a few cars leaving, and I think not many people are going to practice anymore. Downstairs at the bottom of the judging tower is where like the photographers can charge their batteries. It's where they keep the paint. It's where they charge the FPV drones and stuff like that. Let's just nip across the track now. I'm not taking the bicycle this time. Nice, your bike is still there. Yeah, it is, bro. Not the new flat screen ones we have now, yeah. Ah, now I get what you mean. Oh, how was I meant to know that? Cathode ray tube. Oh, He's gonna send a run and I'm just casually walking through the track. Here we'll get Andre! How are you? We have another battle. We have Alexandros leading, Igor chasing. Oh, that is all over the place. That run was a little bit scrappy. Περίμενε να πηδήσω να πάω μέσα. Woo! Let's jump over this fence quickly. Oh! My gonads. Let me just get in the shade and read your comments quickly. Only a nerd would know. Let's get one shot. This gate should not be open. This gate should be closed. Nobody should stand in there because it's so dangerous. We had an accident once here and a car took out like the first 3 railings. So we cordon it off from now on. Really see anything from here, to be honest. It's not a great place. I just wanted to show you the map of the track, then we'll switch off the live. But that is what the racetrack looks like. We were standing in the tower that's there. I can't really see my phone screen. But we were in that tower there, and they're going to do the championship in the parking using the initiation and entering the track. And then this is the racetrack. So the pits, there is this area here, and there's a timing room there. You go into the timing room, you go onto the flipping flies everywhere. You go into the Kuma line, you come around Kuma, you've got Dagna 1, Dagna 2, you go around Mario's turn. He's one of the owner's sons, so he got a turn named after him. Then you do S1, S2, you come around Yannis, that is his older son. Then you have the Farm Straight, because there's loads of farms here on Farm Straight. You come down to Farm Straight, and then you go through Achna Chicane, and then you complete a whole lap of Achna Speedway. And then like over here, so that's the actual racetrack. This is the go-kart track, it's the rabbit course, which is they come through this bit and they come round, and that way. We use that sometimes for drifting. You've got a dragster strip that's incorporated in the design. 300-meter dragster strip runs right through the center of the track until the finish line. The finish line is around here so that they have stopping distance, and this is an upward hill. And then we have, like, for Drift Kings, they start there. Why are BMW so loud? They start here, they initiate around there, and they do the outside wall, and the finish line is around there. The wall, that bit there is the wall, which is like Bihoku in Japan. And then we did another layout once where they did, this was the initiation, and they did this turn here. But the hard thing about running layouts in the big track, which is further away from this area here, is there's no grandstands. So we end up having to move grandstands and having spectators. We have to make like a corridor for them to go into the track. It's a lot of logistics. Anyway, got Andre, he's one of the Time Attack guys. So yeah, where is the camera? You can see my blinded face from the sun. Thanks for watching the live stream, guys. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope the drivers enjoyed it. I hope the spectators enjoyed it. And I hope all of you guys that haven't been to Aachen Speedway before enjoyed it. Big thank you to Mr. Box in the chat for having like a nice chat with us. Also Seofanis, who asked a few questions as well. Just reading. The driver was okay. Marshals, they deserve the respect for keeping drivers safe. Yeah, big thank you to all the marshals as well that are keeping everyone safe, like Box said. Without these guys, we can't really have a championship. But I just like to switch off the live now and wish all the drivers good luck for tomorrow. I hope you have a great day of drifting. Enjoy yourselves. I hope the spectators have a good day. And we finish with Kiriakos Marios Solas caning it around Aachen Speedway. Guys, thank you for today. I've enjoyed this live stream and we'll see you guys on the next one. Have a great weekend. Bye bye, Justus. Didn't have a clue.